What's going on, everyone? Andrew from American Musical Supply here at the Cole Clark booth. I'm with Michael. How you doing, Michael?
Good, mate. How are you?
I'm very well, thank you.
Good.
So, Cole Clark is a relatively new brand to AMS. So, Michael, can you share with us a little bit about the ethos of the company and what makes your guitars special and why someone who's shopping for an acoustic guitar may consider a Cole Clark?
Yeah, sure. So our whole thing is we build a guitar a bit different to everybody else. Our ethos, if you will, is building a guitar for the modern musician.
Okay.
Obviously, acoustic guitar is a market segment that's steeped in tradition. It goes back many hundreds of years, and that's a wonderful thing when you're building acoustic guitars for a presentation in an acoustic environment. But given today with, electricity, air conditioning, cars, all these things that we've come to got to know and to use on a day-to-day basis, the internet, once it goes worldwide, look out. Our thing is let's build a guitar for today.
Right.
Even in the smallest environments, we're finding PA systems things like the little cord connector or a little QSC system or something like that.
Yeah.
So what we're doing is the plugged-in sound of an acoustic guitar for us should be as important as its acoustic qualities.
Okay.
So our driving thing and what started the company was about building an acoustic guitar that sounds very natural and is versatile when it's plugged in a live performance situation.
Gotcha.
Not just like when you go, oh, it's a beautiful acoustic guitar, let me stick a microphone in front of it.
Yeah.
Having a microphone in front of your guitar is still something that we hold very dearly, and it does give you a very natural and articulate sound, but it does tie the performer to one single spot. They're there. As soon as they move away,
right.
Bottom end drops away, you can't be a performer at that point. So we want to give you the versatility and everything that comes with being plugged in, but no compromise on the sound.
Gotcha.
In order to do that, we had to throw the rule book out. So what we've done is actually designed a pickup system and then designed the most complementary acoustic guitar around the pickup system, rather than building an acoustic guitar and kind of shoving a pickup system into it to try and make it work. So within that, we have a whole bunch of different design elements that go into the actual physical making of the guitar. Be it, we internally carve the guitar, which is quite unique for a flat top steel string guitar. Internally carving is not something new. We didn't invent it. Mandolins, violins have been doing that technique for a really, really long time. We have a Spanish heel that we use in the neck joint of our guitar. Again, that's not some bizarre Australian voodoo stuff. The Spanish invented that 300 years ago. It works beautifully on a nylon string classical guitar. We've adopted it because it works great with the way that we do our build with our pickup system and getting that tone transfer from the body of the guitar into the neck of the guitar and vice versa, and that's what really it is. So our thing is voicing a guitar for a modern musician and giving it a natural and versatile application in a home studio environment, into your couch, but more importantly also into that live environment, be it a small little PA system or through to a stadium-sized rig.
Great. And then in terms of your core lineup of models, can you just talk us through really quick about body shapes, that kind of thing?
Yeah, so it's really simple for us. We've got the models which we call, which are in the big 8 for us, and that is all Australian timbers, which we source sustainably.
Okay.
And within that, it's 2 body shapes, but 3 different timbers is what we get. That's our 2 series, that's the 6, and then we have a more affordable offering in our 1 series, which is slightly different timbers. We don't compromise on build, we don't compromise on the pickup, it's just cosmetically, it's just a little more refined in that guitar. That's these 8 guitars here. The 2 series is the main part of what we do because cosmetically it fits really, really nicely within an offering, and quite often we're somebody's 2nd or 3rd guitar. We're not their entry-level guitar. And so they've got that, they've come in, they've gotten used to some of the aesthetic that they've been had in their guitars that they've got there, and so they can pick up a 2 series guitar for us. And it also gets us into some really pretty timbers when you get into our 2 series guitar. For example, California Redwood. We all know what a California redwood tree is, and we don't think about Australia typically, but we were fortunate enough to get a bunch of these trees actually growing in Australia in the early 1800s.
Okay.
We're now, as a company, in the lucky position to be able to utilize those timbers and make them into beautiful guitars. So this is California redwood, but grown in Australia. The back and sides of all of our 2 series guitar are Australian blackwood. Australian Blackwood is very similar to Koa. Colloquially, we sort of say it's the older cousin of Koa. So if you're familiar with that tone, which we often are from typical US manufacturers, that's what the back and sides of all of our 2 Series guitars are there. We also, in our 2 Series guitars, have bunya, which is kind of like the classic Cole Clark tone. This is the timber that we used on the top of our guitars, and it's kind of like, we all remember this saying, right? Like Foster's, it's Australian for beer, right? It's bloody awful.
But nobody drinks that.
No one, why would you? Sorry, Foster's, I'm not endorsed to say this. But so the way that we explain this is like bunya, it's Australian for spruce. Right, it's not technically a member of the spruce family, but it's close enough. You know, it is what it is. So, but when you're thinking about, you know,
so she'll be right, mate.
Yeah, she'll be right, mate. You know, so from our perspective, it's like all the timbers that we're introducing are new to, particularly into the American market. Like people haven't heard of like Blackwood, they haven't heard of bunya and all that kind of stuff, but they know what mahogany sounds like, they know what spruce sounds like, and we've got to come up with those things which line up, and so you can go, oh, when I'm considering a Cole Clark guitar, I know where I want to, what part of the family I want to live in for this. And this is kind of like our all-rounder guitar, like Jack Johnson uses a Cole Clark with bunya top on it and all that kind of stuff. So great for a finger picker, but great for a heavy strummer as well.
What's the back and sides on that? Same as
Australian Blackwood. Yeah, that we've got on those. Yeah, so all of our 2 Series guitars are Australian Blackwood. Now, as I said, Australian Blackwood is akin to Koa. So keeping in mind with that and the traditions of guitar building and stuff like that, we do a all Koa or an all Blackwood guitar, you know, so, and that's what this is. And actually, this in recent times, the last 12 months or so, has become, in our Dreadnought shape and our Grand Auditorium shape, has become our best performing guitars. So it's really cool. It's kind of a bit of an enigma, this guitar, because of the density of Blackwood. It's a very stiff timber. It takes a lot of energy to get it going. Unless you're very confident in your playing, it doesn't open up for you as an acoustic player. But when you've got the energy of a big PA system behind you, it's really expressive and very dynamic. So it's kind of weird, like acoustically, this is probably our most controlled sounding guitar, but it opens up incredibly when you've got the power of a PA system behind you. Because of our pickup system, I think that's why this is starting to really drive some sales for us, because people are going, they're working it out, right? Like, this is a bit weird to say, but like in electric guitar land, we're okay with owning heaps of guitars. Like you go, I got my Strat, I got my Tele, I got my Les Paul, I got my SG, I've got all these things because they intrinsically do different things. But our brain in acoustic guitars, like, yeah, I got my guitar.
Right.
I'm good. And it's like, no, that's like have the correct tool for the correct job.
Right.
So like we love it when people own beautiful Martins and Taylors, and I own a Collings, which is just like the most gorgeous guitar ever. But it never leaves my lounge room. Like that's the guitar that I play there, right. And it's perfect. Live, my Collings doesn't do what this does. Like, right. It just doesn't, because it's a beautifully designed acoustic guitar, you know? This is a guitar designed for a purpose, which is you take it, you plug it in, it sounds like a guitar.
Right.
Not a very loose approximation that's very electronic sounding of a guitar. It sounds like a guitar. And the cool thing about our pickup system with that is it sounds like this guitar. Or it sounds like that guitar, it sounds like that guitar. It doesn't sound like the Cole Clark pickup system, it sounds like the guitar that you're playing.
Right.
So you still get to shop for an acoustic guitar in the same way that you will. You take it off the wall, you play it, and you're like, nah, this one's not this one. Oh, I like this one. This one's really, really cool. You plug it in and you go, oh, it sounds exactly the same, just louder.
Right.
And that's what we're going for, that experience of this guitar that I've fallen in love with, but louder. No compromise in the plugged-in sound.
Right on. Wow. Well, thanks so much. We really appreciate the overview, the time you're spending with us today.
Yeah, no worries.
So, and if you're interested in checking out a Cole Clark guitar, please visit AmericanMusical.com. Thanks, mate.
Thanks, mate.